Killing spree.
Hey guys, what's up? In this video, let's not talk about winning. Let's talk about the other side, the losing side, the part no one likes to deal with, the part that drains you mentally even more than it affects your rank. I know some of you won't like this video because, well, it's about losing and not winning. Everybody loves to win, right? But stick around until the end of the video because I know all of us feel this way when we keep losing. Have you ever had those matches where things just fall apart, even if you're doing fine individually? Maybe you did your job, but your team didn't. Maybe someone fed early, or maybe you all made mistakes. And now you're sitting there at the end screen, just staring, thinking, what just happened? That's the part I want to talk about in this video, not the loss itself, but what happens in your mind after the loss. Right after a loss, the most common feeling is irritation, not even because you care about the star, but because it just feels like a waste of time. You spent 20-30 minutes focusing, trying, thinking, and then boom, one wrong fight, one bad decision, and it's over. Sometimes you're not even mad at your team, you're just tired of the pattern. Queue up, play smart, someone trolls, game ends. Again and again, it's mentally exhausting. You can act like you don't care, but it gets to you after a while. Even if you're calm, the pressure still builds. Over time, losing starts to mess with your expectations. You queue up thinking, I need to win this one. It stops being about playing the game, and it turns into stress. You start thinking about your win streak, your current stars, your teammates' win rates. You go into the draft room already calculating chances of winning before the game even starts. That's where the game becomes less fun. Because now it's not just a match, it's a source of stress. That's the psychology of it. You lose a few times, and suddenly every game feels like a test. You're more focused on avoiding another loss than actually playing well. Sometimes after repeated losses, the frustration turns inward. You don't blame teammates anymore. You start blaming yourself. You question your decisions. Why did I rotate bot instead of defending mid? You rethink your build, your emblem, your spell. You even start wondering if your role is the problem. Maybe I should stop playing fighter. Maybe I'm not good enough for jungle. It creates doubt. Not because you're bad, but because you're mentally worn down. You're not reacting emotionally anymore. You're overanalyzing, second-guessing every move, even in the next games. That hesitation messes with your tempo. You stop playing with confidence, and that affects your performance even more. Then there's rage queuing. You finish a bad match, and instead of taking a break, you hit play again without thinking. You're not playing to learn, or to enjoy, or even to focus. You're just trying to get your stars back. That's where more mistakes happen. You dive when you shouldn't, you roam too early, you ignore macro, and your mind is still stuck on the last game, not the one you're in. And when you lose again, it stacks. Mental fatigue builds fast. You start the day fresh, and a few losses later, you're not even the same player. That's when it's not about skill anymore. It's all mindset. Here's something that's just factual. Losses expose your habits. You'll notice things about yourself that you never would have paid attention to during wins. Maybe you always rotate late. Maybe you get baited into 1v1s during key objectives. Maybe your map awareness disappears under pressure. Losses force you to face stuff you usually ignore, but that only works if you actually pay attention. If you lose and immediately blame someone else or hop to the next game, nothing gets processed. It's not about being emotional, it's just about being observant.
Legendary. Destroyed a
Another thing that needs to be said is tilt. Most of the time, you won't even notice when it starts happening, but your gameplay changes. You begin to stop checking the minimap regularly, and your awareness starts to drop. Instead of playing with a plan, you just start reacting to whatever's happening around you. You might begin forcing fights you normally wouldn't take, trying to make something happen just out of frustration. And then there's the part where you mute your teammates. Not even because they're being toxic, but just because you don't feel like hearing anything anymore. Even the small stuff starts to get under your skin. A recall animation, a spam ping, stuff that wouldn't usually bother you suddenly does. At that point, it's no longer about your game knowledge. You probably still know the right decisions to make, but you're just not doing them. That's what tilt does. You're technically still in the match, but your brain's already out of it. If you're the type who plays seriously, if you're trying to climb or just trying to be consistent, you have to recognize when your mindset is dropping. Watch your own replays, especially the losses. Don't focus on the scoreboard, just watch your positioning and decision making. Take breaks between matches, not always long ones. Even 5 minutes is enough to reset your brain. Don't queue with the mindset of, I need to win. Just focus on playing clean, making the right decisions. Turn off the mic and chat if it's making you react. The less outside noise, the better. Stick to heroes you're comfortable with when you're not mentally 100%. This isn't the time to test out new picks. At the end of the day, Mobile Legends is a game, but when you play it every day, when you're trying to hit a rank, or when you take the game seriously, it becomes part of your routine. So losses don't feel casual, they affect your energy, your mood, your thinking, and if you don't deal with that side of the game, if you ignore the mental side, it's gonna affect how you play in the long run. Just recognize what's happening. Be aware of it. You don't need to overreact, you don't need to be positive, just notice it, that's it. If this kind of content helps you out, or if you just find yourself relating to the stuff I talk about, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. No hype, no pressure. Just more content like this. Straight talk about the real stuff behind the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.